Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. Raheem Sterling is an absolute disgrace. He's an absolute joke. He's come out recently and said that he gets criticism in the media because of racism. Absolutely not. What is he talking about? He should be rightly slaughtered for daring to treat himself to a spot of breakfast. Like, who does he think he is? The fucking king of Spain? Driving a dirty car, flying an EasyJet, proposing to his girlfriend? These are just red card offences. And obviously he, as a young dad in his early 20s, should definitely have his entire life scrutinised by the vultures of the national press. Yeah, obviously I'm being sarcastic. Let's just have a look at the media's obsession with this man. From troubled youth to 100k a week. The life of footy idiot Raheem Sterling. Footy idiot. This man is on 100k a week. I'm guessing the fellow who scribbled up this article, complete with a set of fucking crayons, probably takes home half that in a single year. Raheem probably has enough money to buy this fella's house and turn it into his own private Portaloo. How much of an idiot is Raheem after all? I decided to actually give this article a read, and surprisingly my eyes didn't melt out of my fucking head, although I did feel the instant need to have a shower. Having said that, I'm guessing anyone who reads The Sun on a daily basis probably hasn't had a shower since 2004.
Only 2 years later, his absent father will be shot dead back on the Caribbean island.
Not really sure how relevant it is to include the fact that his father was absent, but anyway, just remember this bit for later. Remember the fact that the son knew that his dad was shot dead. It's pretty important. Don't be so greedy. Don't be so greedy, Raheem. How dare you demand a pay rise after becoming a first team regular at your club? I mean, for Christ's sake, this was the same team who was paying Glenn Johnson £120,000 a week at the same time. I mean, come on. England failure steps off plane and insults fans by showing off blinging house. Obscene. The £49 million Manchester City winger laughed as he took pals on a tour. Laughed. Is he not allowed to fucking laugh anymore? I mean, if that's the case, maybe you should have just drip fed the entire squad 6 hours of The Big Bang Theory on the flight back home. That would be enough to make the joy leave their eyes forever. But yeah, this wasn't even his house. He was posting a picture of a sink he bought for his mother. But apparently, because he played shite in a football match, his mother can't have nice things. If that's the case, Paul Dummett's mother probably lives in a bin bag.
When you pay someone so young so much money, what do you expect? The fans are still suffering and he posts an insensitive video like this. I hope his cars get vandalized every time he goes out in one. It would serve him right.
Man posts house on Snapchat. Other man wishes thousands of pounds worth of damage to his vehicles. Which man is the idiot? Man City ace Sterling drives filthy £50,000 Mercedes. So apparently rich people just can't have dirty cars. I mean, that's just a luxury reserved for the peasants like us. They presumably have to camp outside a car wash just in case some fat middle-aged man with a camera and a disappointed wife wants to make some extra bucks for their son. Love rat Raheem Sterling proposes to long-suffering girlfriend Paige Million. Long-suffering? Jesus Christ, she's not exactly working in a sweatshop now, is she? I doubt this woman has to sleep outside in a kennel every night, showers in the sink. I'm sure she's quite happy being in a relationship with a multi-millionaire who she met when she was a teenager, back in the days when they could barely afford a Freddo between them. This article was less than 200 words, no big ones of course, don't want to strain any brain muscles reading this, and yet it still needed to be a team effort from two people writing 200 words about some fella proposing to his missus. Is this modern day journalism? Stephen Moyes. Actually, on second thoughts, yeah, that lad probably looks like he needs help turning on a computer, never mind writing a article. Let's just see how this was received in the comment section below.
Wow, look at those lips. We'd just love to lick them and then stick her on the window.
The Sun, ladies and gentlemen. Raheem Sterling treats himself to a spot of breakfast after missing out on Young Player of the Year award. Apparently he's not allowed to have breakfast now. Man City star Raheem Sterling spotted bargain hunting in Pound World. Hang on a second, a minute ago you were having a go at him for having the audacity to splash out on a sink for his mother. Now he deserves a paddling for daring to pick up some batteries from Pound World. Also, the fact they've capitalised the whole world as if it's some cardinal sin, that he's actually lowered himself to the status of else mere mortals. You know, the same people who actually buy your dish rag of that paper. I mean, not me, Christ. I'd rather eat my own foot, but others. 44 million bargain-loving Raheem Sterling's taste for Greggs. He loves pasties. The 200k a week Manchester City ace has been spotted queuing for pasties and sausage rolls in a shop close to his new pad. How is this f***ing news? When is anybody ever in the history of life ever given a shit about someone being in a queue for sausage rolls? This is just a weird obsession with him at this stage. Imagine being a journalist going home to his wife after that. So, any big scoops today? Oh yeah, I broke the news that a multi-millionaire was queuing for sausage rolls. We're 5 months late on our rent. Manchester City star Raheem Sterling takes £80 EasyJet flight despite earning 200 grand a week. Apparently he's not allowed to fly economy class either. He was snapped looking unamused by one fellow passenger as he was forced to stand in the aisle while a couple next to him got up to use the toilet. Oh lads, can you imagine if Sterling hadn't got up to let the couple out? The journalists might have just soiled themselves in absolute excitement at all the headlines they could concoct about this evil man. Let's just see some of the comments on this article.
Wants to get noticed. Tight as a duck comes to mind. Vastly overrated and insanely overpriced.
Footy star Raheem Sterling buys clothes from Primark while on 180k a week. They're at it again. Primark! Raheem Sterling was in Primark while on 180k a week. He's lowering himself to Primark. His life's on the rails, he's going off the grid. Soon he'll be sleeping under a bus and stealing food from the homeless shelter. Except no, maybe he just wanted a pair of f***ing socks. We all remember the gun tattoo story. Basically, Raheem gets an assault rifle tattooed on his leg. And suddenly, editors up and down the country spent 15 minutes wanking themselves in a toilet, thinking about all the headlines they could write at the expense of this fella. Jesus Christ, you'd swear this fella just spent a week running over old ladies in the street. Such was the public outrage. Raheem shoots himself in foot. To be honest, I think the only ones shooting themselves in the foot were the ones who ran this story, considering the backlash it got. Also, to show how tasteful an addition this was, Kylie nude at 50. To be honest, lads, I think she's nude every year. It's just no one really wants to see that after the age of 35. Anyway, as it turned out, Raheem's tattoo wasn't actually inciting gun violence or start World War III. I know, shock horror. He was just honouring his dad who, as we all know, and people at that newspaper know, was shot dead when he was just 2 years old. Oh, and don't forget, he was absent. Because that's relevant. So you might think, okay, now they're just gonna leave it alone. Just let it be. Let the story die. No more mention of the tattoo. No more personal stuff. No more family. Okay, you've been shown up here.
When did Raheem's dad die? How many children does he have? And who's his fiancée Paige?
Oh, just shut up, lads. They were at it again with the tattoo stories a few months later. Raheem Sterling shows off touching new tattoo of him sharing kiss with young son Tiago. Are you sure, lads? Are you sure you don't want to turn this into some kind of frenzied incest story in the Sterling house? Raheem Sterling diddles his kids. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them at this stage. Like, honestly wouldn't. Oh yeah, don't clip that up. Stab teens die on streets. 2 more teenagers were killed over the weekend as Sterling revealed his controversial gun tattoo. How are these two things relevant? It's not even the same weapon. Guns don't stab people. Why even mention it? Oh, that's right, to suit your narrative that Sterling is the villain of the country. Like, why do these journalists hate Sterling so much? Do they just go home at night and cry in the showers when they compare Sterling's life to theirs? 2 gone-off lasagnas in the fridge, a blocked toilet, and weekly death threats from angry scousers. Actually, the last one is probably something they have in common with Sterling. But because of this repeated narrative, the consumer's been brainwashed to think, right, Sterling is the enemy. Remember when Sterling left Liverpool for 50 million? And Twitter nearly exploded in the haze of angry football fans, repeatedly telling the world that this was economic insanity.
Lukaku must be worth 100 million then.
What? What an idiot!
He's worth 5 million max, just because of the pace.
So he's worth the same amount as Hoselu.
If Sterling is 50 million, Memphis is 100 million. Jordan Ibe has more potential than Raheem Sterling. Januzaj will shit all over Sterling in 5 years. Just a quick reminder that Raheem Sterling was picked over Andros Townsend. So Roy, you still trying to tell me Sterling is a better choice than Andros Townsend? Get the f*** out of here.
40, you insane person. I mean, sure, Sterling's performances Euro 2016 were a big bag of boiled piss, but Harry Kane's were even worse. Not much said about him. So obviously the point was Sterling was apparently racially abused at Stamford Bridge at the weekend. Imagine being a 50-year-old man and screaming at someone young enough to be your son purely based on the colour of his skin. This man probably reads these tabloids and he's being drip-fed this narrative that Sterling is the villain of the country. So for a man with racial tendencies already ingrained in his head, who do you think is going to be the prime target on match day? And I bet he was tossing himself senseless to Drogba's goal out in Munich, wasn't he? So here's the point. The media treat Sterling as if he's some sort of national pariah. And it's an absolute joke. Most of these tabloid writers are probably fellows who forked out 9k on 2 journalism degrees only to end up writing about sausage rolls. I get that it's probably pretty soul destroying. I mean, I sit in a sweaty room talking about football wags for a living. I'm with you. Targeting a young man who's come from a tough, single mother upbringing. This man should be held up as a role model for kids up and down the country. Instead of attacking him for getting a tattoo or 6 fucking sausage rolls, maybe commend him on the donation he made towards those affected by the Grenfell Tower fire. Maybe mention the football academy he opened for disadvantaged kids. Maybe the fact he played in a Premier League match 4 hours after getting racially attacked in a car park. Now, I don't want this to have been 10 minutes of me crying into a bowl of ice cream, begging you to leave him alone.
Leave Benny alone!
YouTube 2007, lads. But seriously, the media need to take a long, hard look at themselves and how they report about it. Why are they so obsessed with him? Lads, I'm out. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Is Sterling right to call out certain sections of the press? Or should he know his place and not book an EasyJet flight for fear of offending Dave from Luton? Let me know. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you have enjoyed on that road to 200k. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.